So it's a couple days after Christmas. How was everybody's Christmas?
Yeah, how was everybody's Christmas?
It was here.
Yeah, we're all kind of out of it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we all just got drained from the holidays or what, but we're here.
We're drained from 2020. We're drained from life. We're drained from the past few weeks. I don't.
Well, I feel like we're.
I fixed it.
Okay. Well.
Would
You
you
fixed
redo
it.
that?
Huh?
Redo it?
No, we're just gonna keep track.
okay.
This is the last episode of 2020, so
Let's just
in
keep
2020
going.
fashion, we'll
Keep
let it roll.
going regardless of
Yeah.
what happens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the moment maker's mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Make your moment.
I get yes.
Play the hand you're dealt.
The hand you're dealt. The cards.
Make moments, not excuses.
Mhm.
Just do it.
Just do it.
That's not
guys.
ours. No
That's true.
copyright infringement.
Can we?
there.
Well, we'll do the do as DEW, and we'll be like almost a knockoff of Mountain Dew.
Could we get sponsored by Mountain Dew
I would love to.
and make
Actually-
a catchphrase?
Does
Just
anybody here drink Mountain Dew?
No.
we live in West Virginia.
But
don't
none
drink
of us
Mountain
drink
Dew.
Did you
Mountain
leave
Dew.
Mountain Dew and pizza rolls out for the Mothman?
I don't like pizza rolls.
Oh God, you're
Really?
insane.
No.
You haven't had the right kind.
I don't like pizza in general.
What do you
Really?
not like about
Yeah.
pizza?
The sauce.
Yeah, there's
I'm
no
with
sauce
you.
involved in pizza rolls.
Well,
or
Pizza rolls, yes.
or
there are.
pepperoni rolls.
Oh,
We're talking about pepperoni rolls.
Did I
Okay.
say pizza rolls?
I
yes,
think
you
you
did say
did.
pizza
Oh, I
rolls.
said
So I was
I knew
thinking
what
those
you meant.
Totino's things.
Huh.
No, pizza rolls are okay. I'm not the biggest fan of pepperoni.
I meant pepperoni rolls.
They're okay. I'm not the biggest fan of pepperoni, but I'll eat it.
Okay. I'm not a huge fan of pizza either, and there's a good reason for that.
Mm-hmm.
You remember when I lived in the house up the road from where we're living now?
The trailer.
No. This was back when I lived here with my mom.
Oh.
I don't know if you ever came to that house.
I never
Me and you
did.
didn't know.
But I believe I know kind of the vicinity of where it is.
Well, it's up the road from where we're living now,
Mhm.
and my mom worked at a like a girls' home where she would go and she was essentially like a night watch person. She would it was a wayward home for girls where they would go and stay and get rehabilitated, whatever.
Mhm.
And, my mom was the night duty.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of having time to fix food and all this stuff, she would buy Little Caesars pizza
Yeah.
every weekend.
Every weekend.
Every weekend.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I ate
Yeah.
every weekend for a while.
Little Caesars so
and
cheap.
Little Caesars is not the best quality.
No, but good God, it's cheap. You
it's
get a
cheap
whole,
and it got the job done for a family of four. So
yeah, I mean a
And-
whole pizza for
or
$5.
4 kids.
You know, but still, like you get
Yeah.
2 pizzas, $10.
But that's why I got burnt out on pizza for the longest time.
I don't know why I don't like pizza. I must not have been. I don't know.
You're not very pop punk.
No, not really.
Not very pop punk if you don't like pizza.
No.
It's true.
You gotta
Buffalo
love pizza and hate your town.
I love pizza and my friends.
All right, Jared. Jared Alonji.
Jared Alonji, yeah. If anybody who actually knows who that is who's listening, please, God,
Send
I
this
don't know.
podcast to him.
Yeah,
let's get on.
let's get Jared Alonji on the
Yeah,
podcast.
Let's get him on the podcast.
Honestly, that'd be great.
Is he still active?
He is with Bochetto Media, but he basically it's Bill Murray's record company. That's Jared Alonji's record company.
And Bill Murray the band, not
Bill Murray the
not
band,
the actor.
Yeah, you spell it like BILMURI.
Yeah.
There's only one R.
Yeah.
Okay. Not
Murray.
Bill Murray the actor. Bill Murray the actor is on a record label.
Bill fucking Murray.
Mhm.
I still have yet to see. Did that Zombieland 2 ever come out?
Yeah, it was
I
great.
still have yet to see it.
I
That's
haven't
great.
watched it either.
I remember seeing all the previews for it and wanting to see it. And
There was
just-
someone really famous in it. Who was it?
That one guy.
that wasn't in the movie already.
Yes.
Oh,
like
dude,
the
I don't
previous-
know.
Well, I know you haven't seen it.
I know Bill Murray was in the first one.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he was.
So who's that actor that plays like the badass in
Woody
like
Harrelson?
the first one?
Woody
Yes,
Harrelson?
yes, yes.
Yeah.
I randomly started thinking about that.
You just, when you're in bed at night, you randomly just started thinking about Woody Harrelson.
It was this morning when I woke up because I was thinking about the movie 7 Pounds where he's in that movie too, with Will Smith, the blind guy. If
I haven't seen that one
Wilson.
either.
That's a good one.
Luke Wilson?
Yeah, Owen Wilson's brother.
Who's
Oh,
that? Who?
that's
Owen
interesting.
Owen Wilson's brother was in the movie.
He
That's
has
strange.
a brother.
Yeah.
Oh,
Luke
yeah.
Wilson. You know, he was in that.
Is he like a great value, Owen
They've
Wilson?
been in movies together.
Yeah. No, he's a pretty good actor. What's
Weren't
that?
they in Wedding
Idiocracy.
Crashers?
He's in that movie.
Okay.
I don't watch many movies.
Weren't
so I
they
don't
in
know.
Wedding Crashers together?
No, that was Wait, maybe. I don't remember.
I know
Wedding
Owen
Crashers.
Wilson and like Vince Vaughn were like the main guys of
Yeah,
that,
the
but I
main
thought
guys.
Luke Wilson was in that too. I don't remember. It's been
Yeah.
a long time since. I've
Owen
seen
Wilson does some good producing too.
it.
Actually, yeah.
Mm.
He was he was really the Wilson brothers. Both of them were big parts of early Wes Anderson films. Like the first 3 of them had.
Really?
Yeah, they were both in there in those movies. Same with Bill Murray, actually.
Oh, I know that there was that one movie that was like a ship or something.
Life Aquatic.
I haven't seen it.
It's so good.
I've seen maybe one Wes Anderson film.
I am a huge Wes Anderson buff.
I'd like to see more.
They're
I
so good.
genuinely enjoy his style.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a bunch of YouTube videos about his style, but have not seen.
I mean, they're all classics.
Fantastic Fox was
Yeah.
Wes Anderson, right? Fantastic Mr. Fox.
The Fantastic Mr. Fox. Yeah.
That's
Isle
a
of
great
Dogs. Grand
movie. I wanted
Budapest
to see
Hotel.
that. Wanted to see that.
I just saw Isle of Dogs recently. I think it's on Netflix or something.
Okay.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Another one, Moonrise Kingdom. Oh, so good, so good. The Royal Tenenbaums. That's another good one. On any Wes Anderson film is just.
And like he has that specific style that everything's
Mhm.
like symmetrical.
Yeah,
But
he has
also,
very
like,
specific ways of angling cameras.
I watched
and
a
stuff.
video that kind of like it documented like his style of filmmaking, and he does it in like 360 film.
I think we watched the same video, Brennan.
Yeah, because
And,
it
yeah.
talked about how like everything was like in a like here, and then you turn 90 degrees, and it's there, and then 90 degrees, and it's always 90 degrees one way or the other. It's never like a quarter turn, like it is a quarter turn. It's not like
A full turn.
You get what I'm saying.
It's not a full turn.
Well, I mean, it could be a full turn, but
I mean,
it's
but
not.
I get what you're saying. It's like, whoo.
Yeah. But it's never like just slightly. It's always 90 degrees so that it goes to like the next point of view.
Exactly.
It's a really interesting way of filmmaking, and there's a lot of like thought that has to go into that.
A lot of nuance.
Yeah.
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 Sorry. I clanked my teeth.
You did.
Clanked your
Jesse
teeth.
just looked at me with that devilish stare.
So
uncomfortable.
2020.
Yeah. Started out really good,
Started
January
out
and February. And a little
The
bit of
first
March.
couple months, I was
Yeah.
like up here, and I was
Yeah.
thinking, I don't think that I would be doing the things that I'm doing if it hadn't been for 2020 being what it was.
Oh, yeah. Agreed.
Because I don't think our paths would have crossed the way that they did.
Yeah, they would have crossed, but not as crisscross, you know.
Not as crisscross.
Not as Chris Christopherson, yeah.
Yeah. Just that little.
I like that one.
But yeah, like we started the podcast December 4th of
2019.
2019, and you guys weren't even a thought.
I mean, I remember you. Thanks.
Didn't give a shit about you guys.
I remember you calling me that you started it while I was on my trip, and you like asked me. I don't necessarily remember what you asked me, but you
I think
like
I
wanted-
asked if you wanted to be like involved with it.
Yeah, but the thing was, it was like about mental health and stuff at that time,
Yeah.
and I am like not a poster boy for that shit. Like I'm, like
Yeah.
I don't know what I don't
We're
even
just
know what
sad
mental
boys.
health means. You know? Fuck.
Yeah.
Ugh,
It's so weird to think that that's like what it started out as, but it had to.
in a way.
In a way, it had to.
That's
'cause-
just it was the culmination of kind of what Sparrow was, and also Eli, and he had Love Shout and everything like that. So at the time, it made sense, but then certain factors sort of went away, and it made more sense because you had these other factors to change the format.
Well, and I think the format change was necessary either way because it was getting too focused and too like quote unquote professional.
Yeah.
Like there was no room to like just be free with it.
Yeah.
Because it had to tie to mental health, and if it didn't, then it was a wasted episode.
Yeah. It's now we just have conversations.
Yeah.
We just talk about that.
Now we just bullshit about Wes Anderson.
Yeah. Well, that's not bullshit because Wes Anderson
is a wonderful filmmaker.
Is like top 3 filmmakers for me personally.
Really?
Yeah.
Who are the other 2?
Christopher Nolan's up there.
Chris Christopherson?
No.
I don't think he makes films.
I mean, he does.
Does he?
I mean, like, yeah.
Like
he does a lot of stuff.
He
makes country music, too.
I know. That's
he
why
makes
I know
home
him.
films.
He's
one
also
of my
an
dads.
actor.
Is he?
Yeah. Like, that's how I knew him.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Chris Christopherson, you've seen him. You've seen him.
He's like, what is it?
What's
like
he in?
Traditional country?
He did traditional country for a long time. I'm not sure where he started, whether it was, I'm pretty sure he started in country music, but then went to acting. But I'm not quite sure.
Really big fan.
I'm pretty sure he's done, like, produced and directed and stuff, too.
Okay.
Yeah, that guy.
Okay.
What did he play in?
Kind of looks like Kurt Russell.
I mean, or maybe Kurt Russell looks like him.
Well,
Who came first?
Probably this guy.
Yeah, probably. Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, it's wild to think about how different the podcast is, and I mean, we get a good bit of listeners every month.
Yeah, it's nice.
But it would be great to have some sponsors. Get paid for this shit.
I mean, in time.
I know.
We got to learn how to professionally, non-professionally have conversations.
Well, we're doing that.
Exactly. Well, I think we've all, like, I have definitely gotten way better about just, like, talking.
Since the episode that me and you did together,
the first one,
just progressively has gotten better every time.
Yeah.
I think we're more comfortable talking on the microphones to each other in the same room.
And also, it was, like, really early
as awkward
that
as
day.
it is.
It was really early that day we did that first podcast, me and you, and I was like, oh, God. It's weird. It's very strange. Morning, yeah. I went through all, like, my life history in that damn podcast.
That was, you're talking about the one we did, like, back in April.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the one I was talking about, not the one. Which
one was the first one? I was talking
one?
about the one that we did about music. Like, me and you, we did in person about music recently, like 2 months ago.
Just me and you?
Yeah.
That was when Daniel was still on it, because that was the one right before I got on.
Daniel was still involved.
Yeah, he was still involved.
Because the one after that, you came and we called Daniel, and he was on.
Now I'm just like...
It was the one right before, like, the near the election time.
Yeah.
It was a little bit before the election. Because the one that you were on, we talked about libertarianism and...
Yeah, and it went off on this big old rant.
Wait, I'm pretty sure Tristan was a part of the first one I was a part of.
Nope. Was she?
Yeah, because it was a gluten shamer one.
Oh!
Yeah.
Yeah, and the next one was about Long John Silver's with the libertarian shit.
Hold up. Now I've got to go look. Ben is currently diving underneath his microphone to grab his cup of coffee, everybody. For those at home that cannot see.
For those at home who can't see. All the blind people at home.
Oh.
Can
I guess we did 2 episodes
podcasts
before that one. What is it?
I don't want to repeat it. Can blind people listen to podcasts?
That's quite a question.
Yes.
Because if you really want to boil it down, yes and no.
Why no?
Where are they going to listen to it at?
It doesn't matter where they're going to listen to it.
Spotify, Apple Podcasts.
Apple Podcasts.
If you're
Spotify,
blind and
YouTube.
you listen to our podcast, please write us and let us know.
But, like, I mean, you can just get on your phone and be like,
Hey Siri,
go to
play podcasts.
Well, I mean, how are they going to find us?
Hey Siri, play Moment Makers podcast.
Hear about us from a friend? They can still...
Brennan, they can still hear. They just can't see.
I tried so hard. I tried so hard
to argue your point there, but you got me.
All right, Ben Shapiro.
That's a little strong.
It is a little strong.
It's black silk, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Black silk.
Oh, dark.
It's got a little bite.
Yeah.
Like, it bites me.
It's going to get you a lot of caffeine, though.
Yeah, it is. I don't know if I need that.
I don't think you do.
I'm already amped up in my own head.
Mm-hmm. Amped up. Amped to 11.
I'm going to just put that back on the table there. Yep.
If you don't drink it, I will.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll just pour it on your face.
All right. Quick question. Y'all want to talk about music?
Sure.
Now that you put it that way, we don't have to.
Well, let's talk about it.
Well, before we go into that, I'll just touch on a couple things for 2020 into 2021, and then we can jump into the music thing, because you wanted to do a recap of like albums and stuff from
just
2020.
Music things.
Just chat about that.
Yeah.
So couple of I guess formalities. Not really formalities, because like it's been a while, but Daniel's no longer with us. Pouring.
I mean, he's alive. He's alive. He's just not part of the podcast. He's no longer with us.
Daniel, if you're listening, and we know you can't see this because you're no longer with us. But yeah, he's still alive, but he's not with the podcast any longer.
Yes.
He's doing his own thing. He's got his own podcast coming out, and we'll do some promo for that here, probably in the next couple weeks.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that. He's got some cool shit coming with his own stuff.
Lots of cool shit.
Still part of the Moat Makers community, so
all about the community.
Still involved with us and everything we're doing there. Tristan's not with us today because we couldn't find a babysitter, so is what it is. Sucks. If you're out there and you babysit kids and you live in the Lewisburg area and you want to do it for free, let us know. Yeah. And then we can talk about Sparrow later. What did you want to talk about music?
I don't know. I was just thinking, like, we were talking about this episode kind of being a little bit more geared towards, like, wrapping up the year 2020 in a nutshell. And the one big thing that I was thinking of for whatever reason was just like, what's your favorite albums that came out in 2020? And I had 3 big ones come to mind personally.
Go ahead.
And they're all vastly different. But one is quite recent. It's actually Sturgill Simpson's Cuttin' Grass Volume 2. It's bluegrass renditions of his old, like, his last couple albums.
Who?
Sturgill Simpson.
Who is that?
He
That's very familiar.
He's the guy who essentially kind of put Tyler Childers on the map, if you know who that is. It's like
it's like traditional country.
But I don't know. He's got so much. He's got a lot different flair to it.
But yeah, and then he also did that one album where it was like very 80s.
Yeah, like he did like one album, the last album before this one, which was like 80s synth rock mixed with disco and stuff. It was awesome.
All right.
But it had like that, like, because he had that slight twang in his voice, that country twang. It was very interesting, but that's a really good album. And then the album before that, it was country in a way, but it was like outlaw country and sort of rockabilly. It had horns, it had strings, it had like just these really big soundscapes that really gave it an interesting vibe to the entire album. He also did a cover of Nirvana's In Bloom, but a like country orchestral version. And it's so good.
Such a strange term.
It's so good.
Because I don't think I've ever heard that. Country orchestral.
Yeah, but it's so good. Trust me. He's one of the few country artists that I'm like, in my head, it's not even it's not as simply cut and dry as country, because there's a lot of fusion going on. You can tell he's got a country background, but very influenced by rock and roll, very influenced by grunge, very influenced by 80s music, like everything. And that's for everybody to see, and he doesn't try to hide that. He doesn't try to be like a mainstream, like he has a song that's literally about him not being played on the radio, which he doesn't get played on the radio. Okay. Which is, I don't know, good in my opinion. Anyway, Cuttin' Grass, Sturgill Simpson, Volume 2. It's bluegrass renditions of all those songs.
All right.
It's very interesting.
I just added it to my watch list, so I'll be bumping that later on.
And then number 2 for me, I have 3.
Sure.
Flowers of Evil by Over. Now, originally...
Don't know who that is.
Yeah, but they're so good. They used to be basically sort of a atmospheric death metal band.
Okay.
Not at all like that now. Like that was in the 90s. They started in the 90s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now they're basically 80s synth rock. And it's so
That's
good.
Such a strange.
They have like the atmospheric part of it still. And
okay.
But it's so good. It's like very beat oriented, but big soundscape, very interesting chords, things like that, but also very catchy and poppy.
Okay.
So that's probably my second favorite album this year. But good, I can't get enough of it. The title not the title track, Machine Guns and Peacock Feathers. Can't get enough of that song. Every time it comes on shuffle, can't skip it. Can't ever skip it, and I skip every song, man. And my first and foremost favorite album this year. Absolutely astounded by it. Protest the Heroes' Palimpsest.
Okay.
That's a great album.
I have not listened to any of these albums. So.
I think you would really enjoy all of them, honestly. Okay. But that album, I mean, they started out as sort of like a classic metalcore band. Like, they started out as
I've heard of Protest the Hero before, but I've never listened to their stuff.
They've got, put it this way, the singer's two biggest influences are Paramore and the play Les Miserables.
Oh, wow.
The original play.
Okay.
So take those kinds of things and add really intricate instrumentals.
All right.
And absolutely phenomenal lyrics. Phenomenal lyrics. Like, that's one of the biggest reasons why I like them. Their lyrics are incredibly intricate and have so much thought put behind them. Palimpsest.
Yeah. Okay.
It's got like a cow on the front of it or something.
Yeah, it's like a bull with the American flag.
Yeah.
Like.
They're from Canada.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
so
the majority of that album is about their perspective of America.
That's dope. I'm definitely going to listen to that.
It's so good. One song's about like Mount Rushmore and basically how we killed off the Indians and how we're just terrible, yet we think we're so cocky, and like 3 out of 4 of them own slaves and on Mount Rushmore. It's like they go so in depth. I personally absolutely love his voice. It's kind of higher. Some people don't necessarily like it. And he has a very, very interesting way. They don't do like verse, chorus type songs. It's always very weird. Very weird. Y'all have certain albums?
I don't really have albums. I'm trying to look through and see. I know I haven't listened to Posthuman as much as I would like to.
That's one of mine that I've
which I figured it would be one of yours. And I'll let you kind of talk about that since it's not something I've really listened to. Mine's not really an album because the album's not set to release until February.
Oh, yeah.
But there's been 2 singles from the album that have been released, and that's from
Architects.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So the album that's coming out is For Those That Wish to Exist. And it's coming out in February. But the 2 songs that have been released are Black Lung and Animals.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the last 3 albums have been very Architects.
Mm-hmm.
And this one is very what Bring Me the Horizon kind of did, where they went away from their original sound and kind of delved into other styles.
What styles are they kind of diving into now?
Kind of some more of that poppy vocal.
Okay. See, I tend to like that when a heavier band tends to go a little bit simpler, a little bit catchier.
Well, and it's
but in a cool way.
For lack of a better way of putting it, it's very on the nose. Bring Me the Horizon, kind of sempiternal.
Okay.
Is that fair to? Have you listened to the songs as much?
Only Animals, and I've only listened to it that one time you sent it to me. Because I did.
Black Lung actually had like a Our Last Night kind of feel to it, like vocal wise.
Yeah.
Because Sam, he's like kind of singing now, which is a huge change from everything that they've done in the past. Like he's had some songs in the past where he sang, but now he's singing for at least the chorus. which is drastically different than what they've done in the past.
Yeah.
Which I'm a huge fan of. The lyrics that they write are very powerful.
Yeah.
And having like a change of vibe to it is cool.
Yeah.
Because like the last 3 albums, literally you could listen to all of them in a playlist together and not know where the last album ended.
Yeah, I got you.
Because it's all been the same sound.
Right.
It's kind of the...
I don't like it when bands don't evolve.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I like to see as many different versions of a band as possible.
Yeah.
One thing you mentioned, clean singing. I don't know if you've heard it. Yeah, I think you've heard it, but August Burns Red, Chop Suey.
Yeah.
Their cover of that.
That was dope
with
as
clean
hell.
vocals,
yeah.
Everything.
Jake did a good job with that.
Phenomenal
I'm
job.
very impressed with it.
Yeah, they did a really good job. If no one's heard it, August Burns Red covered Chop Suey, originally by System of a Down. Phenomenal job. Give it a listen. Yeah. Continue about Architects, or did you have some more thoughts?
So I don't have a lot of the bands that I listen to didn't really put out a lot of stuff this year.
Yeah.
There's been some stuff that's came out this year, but not stuff that I was like super stoked for.
Yeah.
One that I found through the pandemic is Tobu Nwigwe. Are you familiar with him?
I don't think so.
He was really big on TikTok like back in like April, May time frame.
Yeah.
He's the Try Jesus, Don't Try Me Because I Throw Hands. Okay.
No.
Well, he's got more of like a spoken word vibe to his rapping.
Yeah.
But also not.
Mm-hmm.
Hobo Johnson.
Yeah.
Kind of like that without the yelling.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Okay.
Like kind of a spoken word, but kind of a rap vibe, but also a little singing.
You've always been into that sort of spoken word type stuff. Yeah.
But he's been around for a while, but he's like recently started getting big with the production and stuff that they've done. More specifically through the pandemic project that they released, which is the album that they released this year. But they've done a bunch of music videos and stuff for it.
Yeah.
A whole lot of like really, really cool imagery within the videos. Something that I think that you would appreciate even if you don't like the style of the songs. Yeah. And then the last one isn't something that came out this year, but something that I didn't know about until this year.
Yeah.
And that's Rainbow Kitten Surprise.
You
never listened to them until this year.
Caleb showed me them years ago. I don't really listen to them now. I've got a few songs downloaded.
I like Caleb, the vocalist, and Caleb could be one and the same.
I need to give him another listen
because the vocals, like I hear Caleb. It is the weirdest thing. And my cousin sent me a song and said, "Hey, you guys should cover this." And it's I don't remember the name of the song, but it is something that we could do to a T because of Caleb.
Yeah.
Caleb's vocals with our harmonies behind it would just be perfect. Butter. You knew what I was going to say.
You tried to get away from it.
I tried to not say it, and you made me.
100%.
100p. But yeah, so Rainbow Kitten Surprise, just the 2 big albums, 7 and Mary, and then the How to Friend Love Free Fall.
How to Friend Love Free Fall?
How to Friend, Love, Free Fall. But, I mean, that's not what came out this year, so it doesn't technically count.
All right. Well, I mean, it counts. I mean, if we want to get into stuff that we just discovered this year, I've got a list of long.
See, that's most of what I got. 2 things that really hit big, which was Post-Human, Survival Horror, Bring Me the Horizon, and their Of Good Nature did Everything Turns to Gold, which was pretty good.
Is that the one with Papa Collie?
No.
Okay.
That is not.
I've discovered a lot of music. This year, honestly, has been a really big year for me to get into and appreciate R&B.
Okay.
I can definitely tell. See, I've been doing more bitchy stuff. Like I just started listening to really new Palisades.
Okay.
Like Erase the Pain, that one was good. And then Too Close to Touch, if you've ever heard of them. Just like pop punk type stuff.
I haven't been into that type of stuff since like 2017.
See, I was into it in like 2013 is when I was into it. And then I fell out of it, got into other stuff. But now I'm just like finding everything that those bands did.
Yeah.
But Palisades, like, have you heard any of their new stuff? Like
not
Erase
their
the
new
Pain?
stuff, no.
Like, it is just straight, like pop.
I mean, nothing wrong with that.
I know, but see, that's what I like about it.
Yeah.
I love, like, heavy stuff.
With pop.
Like elements in it.
Yeah.
Like Sleeping with Sirens?
I've never actually listened to them.
Really?
But if it's anything like that, then I'm sure I would like it, honestly.
Big into them their first 2 albums, maybe 3 albums. And then, like, there's something about his voice that just over and over and over again, it's just too high.
See, I like high vocals, but it depends.
See, I like
you
low
might
vocals.
like the first few albums.
And I like whiny vocals for some reason.
Well, then
like, I love, like, Crown the
Kellen Quinn.
Empire.
Protest the Hero.
Protest the Hero, he's pretty whiny.
Protest the Hero has the best fucking voice ever. Rhodey Walker.
I'm definitely going to listen to them.
I think you would really like it. Their newest album, the Palimpsest album, you could almost say it's a poppier album, but it's because all of their other albums, it's like shredding all over the place with lead guitar, with vocals over top of it. This one, you leave a lot more room to breathe, I think.
Okay, sweet.
But when you listen to it, you'll be like, there's not that much room to breathe, but then you listen to an album before and like, oh, I see the difference now.
I'll listen to this album and be like, gosh, I hate this.
Yeah.
And then you'll make me listen to the other ones and be like, oh, God, I really hate it.
One that I found the other day, and I've only listened to it, I think, like 2 or 3 times, is Finding God Before God Finds Me by Bad Omens.
I've heard they're really good.
That came out this year, too. Then there was another band that I showed you that you said he was into, and I think that they released an album. Oh, what are they called?
Who's that?
Architects?
No, it's not Architects, but it's another metal band. I'll try to find it.
Yeah.
Because that's going to bug me now.
I did find we have the 2 guys you probably know stuff that we're going to be doing probably some later into 2021. And I found the Cooties this year. You know who the Cooties are?
I don't think so.
They're what we want 2 guys to be.
Okay.
And they have a song called My Calling. Right. And in the song, I'm going to pull up the lyrics here because I don't want to butcher it. Pulling it up now for those at home that can't see.
For those at home that can't see, that made me think of another comedy song that I did a long time ago that I kind of want to read the lyrics off to at some point. Maybe if we get to that. I just realized I've been kind of far away from the mic while I was saying that, so maybe there was some audio silence there, but it's fine.
Well, I've got the lyrics here, and the reason I pulled it up is because I wanted to really. I'm not going to read the lyrics because it's not our song. I don't want to get issues or whatever. But the song is just a lyrical masterpiece, and I mean that in the most satirical way. That it's a satirical song that is a masterpiece of satiricality.
It's at that point, it's what me and Jacob like to call post-satire.
Post-satire?
Yeah. Like post-humor. It's like so not funny, it's funny, or that's post-humor.
The kind of stuff that you do.
Yeah. It's like purposely so unfunny
that you can't not laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the song is called My Calling, and it's like about having a dream about being like a pirate or a pilot. Well, the song
that's very different.
Yeah. Well, this is the lyricality genius that we have here.
Okay.
But the end of the song, they go into how they're how the truth is, I'm not a pilot, I'm not a pirate, I'm not a fireman. 'Cause I'm a frog. Ribbit, motherfucker, I'm a goddamn frog.
You may have shown me this.
Did I?
I think you may have.
'Cause it like the music of it is beautiful. It's almost got like you ever seen Hoodwinked?
Yeah.
You know, Critters Have Feelings.
Yeah.
The song that has that little bit of synth in it. It's got that kind of vibe to it.
Yeah.
And it's just a beautiful song. I wish I could play the song. Go listen to the song. Pause this podcast. Go find the Cooties My Calling on Apple Music or Spotify. Play that song and then come back to this and let's talk about it.
All right, welcome back.
Wow, that's awesome. But yeah, they've got so many other ones. They've got a coffee one, something about like a local coffee shop and how the beans are from Guatemala, and how you want to be cremated and made into a coffee at the coffee shop in town. And my parents joke me about that being the wild bean for me.
I mean, maybe.
So,
put my ashes at Stardust. That's where I belong. I'll forever be clocked in.
You're forever going to be a part of that establishment.
I'm just going to leave, I hope I'm clocked in when I die. Just keep getting money.
Die on the clock. What are you going to do with the money? Can't take it with you.
Give to some poor children and
beneficiaries.
Florida. Beneficiary.
Give it
I put
to
the
them.
bin and beneficiaries.
Nice. How long have we been going for?
I don't know.
Time for an ad break.
36.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll stop here for just a moment. We'll dot our I's and cross our T's, P's, and do an ad read.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be right back. Ben, do you want to tell them what they can do to get some money off?
I don't think I want to.
Okay, well then we'll just go right back into it.
No, I believe they can use code MMP.
And that stands for
Moment Makers Podcast.
Yeah.
You can use that for 10% off of any Sparrow Cloth items.
Well, it'll be your entire order, so it's not just certain items. It's whole cart.
But
like
your cart's going to be filled with items. You can't purchase something that isn't an item on the site.
Sure. The logic is sound. I cannot argue with that.
You can find the link in the show notes down there. Just hit Sparrow Cloth, and it'll take you up where you want to go.
It'll take you right to where you want to go and all the cool stuff. And yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In 2021, when you listen to this, we will be just days away from releasing information about the first drop of 2021.
Oh, it's very exciting. I'm very excited about all these new upcoming collections that we've got coming for people. Very limited, but really cool ones coming their way.
So just for those that didn't listen to the last episode, and what are you doing if you didn't listen to the last episode?
Yeah, go back.
Shame on you. But for those that didn't listen, we're doing a drop every month. Limited drops for 30 days. First Friday of every month. And the Wednesday before the first Friday, we'll be releasing information about the drop, what is included in the drop, and all that jazz.
Mm-hmm.
So go find us on Sparrow_Cloth on Instagram. And follow us. All of the Instagrams are in the show notes. So just go down there. Just unlock your phone, scroll up on the podcast thing, and just go find us.
Unless you're driving.
Well,
I mean, you could then, but be careful.
We're not going to tell you how to live your life. If you live in America, we don't want to tell you how to live.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you live anywhere, I don't really want to tell you how to live your life. If you live,
how do I really want to tell you how to live your life? So issues.
Yeah, I've got some.
Issues kicked out their singer.
Yeah, because he
had issues.
A rapist or something.
Yeah.
What
Sex offender?
It was like a bunch of allegations came in that he did some bad things.
Yep.
I'm not entirely sure, which I saw them actually when I was on my trip out in Iowa.
Did you?
They did a phenomenal job.
I remember
playing.
seeing those videos.
Yeah.
That was dope.
God, they were so good.
Yeah.
Didn't know he was like that though.
When did you get back from your trip?
I got back like the day or two before Christmas last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I was out for probably about just under 2 months.
Really?
Yeah.
And you went West Coast?
Yeah, I went up to Ohio, to see my buddy Mason, who's actually a big fan of the podcast, he says.
Oh.
So shout out to Mason Blair. Love you, buddy.
Mason Blair, you're getting a shout out on the MMP.
Great guy. Honestly, I'd love to have him on sometime.
Well,
That's a whole different topic. I went to see him, and then I went to see Eli in Chicago. Then I went to Iowa, saw Issues and Polyphia. Great show.
And what was that one?
Oh, Sleep Token.
They were good. You were the one that got me into them because of that.
They're a weird kind of...
They're kind of like ghosts. They hide their identities and stuff.
Yeah.
But they also kind of tied to like this like weird being that like tells them what to write and all that, and they're spreading some message.
Their quote-unquote God is known as Sleep, and... I don't know. It's just some very interesting stuff. It's like really ambient, heavy, atmospheric metal with really cool pop vocals that I really like. Went there, and then I went through Nebraska, Wyoming, Utah, and Nevada. Yes, that's a great album.
All right.
Went through there, and then I went up to Portland to see Jacob and Zoe. Jacob Goodale, who we have had on this podcast.
I didn't know that they moved to Portland.
Yeah, that's... part of the reason why I went on my trip.
Oh.
Because, like, get as far away from here as possible. Yeah. Portland, literally, And went up there, stayed with them for a couple weeks, visited Portland. Great city. It's a really nice city. At the time, I'm not sure how it is now with the riots and all the weird shit going on.
Chad.
That's a big reason why they moved back.
Understood.
Yeah. Then I went down through California, Arizona, New Mexico, all those. Went to Texas. I saw, what is it? That one state forest or big forest in California.
Redwoods?
No. It's not that. It's the one with the big, is Yellowstone down there? Or is that Montana? Did I see Yellowstone? Which one was it? I don't even remember. It was big. In, like, the middle of California. Just giant mountains.
Okay.
Giant mountains, this huge forest. I was going to see the sequoia, but I ran out of daylight, and I had to keep moving.
You went to the Grand Canyon, didn't you?
Yeah, I went to the Grand Canyon.
Ooh.
I was there for about an hour. It was cool. It was really funny because I was one of the few people there at the time, and then, like, 20 feet away from me was this... like middle-aged couple just going at it, arguing. It was hilarious because like they were shouting and it was echoing into the canyon. It was really funny. And I went to the Four Corners, but it was closed.
I don't see how you fucking close that.
Gate. There was a gate that said we're closed at 5.
Huh.
Yeah.
Did you know that the New River Gorge in the stimulus bill was named a national park? The bridge itself.
It's a national park? The bridge is a national park.
It is now.
I'm kind of confused.
But it was in the bill that it would become a national park.
Okay. Is that
the
good?
bridge.
How do we feel about that?
I don't know.
Yeah,
tourism.
We'll see. Yeah, sure. Great. We're also getting that big, like, monorail, like high-speed monorail in West Virginia. Have you heard about that?
No, but I have seen bits and pieces of some monorail.
Yeah, it's, like, being tested in West Virginia.
Oh, I did see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like $700 million or something is going towards that being built.
Wonderful.
So that we can test it out and see if we die. It'd be cool.
Instead of just giving that money to people that need it.
Yeah. And, well, instead of using it, that's our money.
Yeah, I mean, golly.
Anyway.
Taxes.
What can you do?
Yeah.
They
overthrow the government. What?
Yeah,
I didn't say that.
I mean, we already have enough turmoil going on in our day-to-day lives here in America.
We've still got
best not to create much more violence.
We've got like 4 days left in 2020.
Let's just see what kind of... You know what? Do you think they're going to release any information about aliens before the year's over? Do you think? Maybe. That'd be cool. That'd be real fun.
I don't know.
That'd be great.
It'll bleed into 2021.
Maybe they'll come down, see us. I would love to just to get to know a guy,
What, an alien?
No, just a dude.
Oh.
No, honestly, think about that. To how we're hanging with the boys right now. It's just me, you, and
you
the
got
guys.
Glip Glop over there
too, huh?
You got Glip Glop over there.
Yeah, exactly. You just have this dude. You just like, oh yeah, I'm from.
You're not Glip Glop. Sorry.
You know, how fun would that be? Just like chilling with a dude from another planet.
Yeah.
Probably
just like,
pretty
what's
terrifying.
going on? Well, but maybe like how, like, it depends on how different they,
So
how
the way
different
that
the culture
I
is.
imagine interstellar space, galaxies, and aliens is legitimately like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Fantastic book.
Right.
Great movie.
Great movie. I have not read the book.
Oh, I've got it. You want to borrow it?
I'm good. I don't have time.
I feel
just
ya.
don't have time.
It's got
to
like
read.
all 5 books in one, and I've gotten for the first 3, and I've had it for about 5 years now.
Really? Huh. I didn't. How thick? Ooh, that's thicker than the Bible, my guy.
4 inches, maybe.
Damn.
What's that like?
Mm.
But yeah, that's kind of how I imagine like aliens to be.
Yeah,
Like,
just very. I mean,
weird, but like not at the same time.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a. I don't know. Even in that article that we read about the Israeli head of NASA, like saying Galactic Federation waiting for us to be prepared mentally and everything. That just the way he sort of phrases that kind of makes it sound like they're like they said they're also looking for the meaning of life or the meaning of the fabric of the universe or whatever. And that just goes to like if all of that is completely true, it kind of puts a certain perspective of they can just as easily be a regular Joe Blow down the street.
Yeah. You loved that.
I love that.
You used that in the TikTok.
I did.
You made the other day too.
I don't like to put TikTok and me in the same sentence.
Well, cat's
even though I have one.
Cat's out of the bag, gang.
You can go follow it, I guess. I do some really stupid shit. I don't know.
Well, you're to your point of like aliens not really knowing. I mean, nobody knows.
Yeah,
they're, and I don't think we ever will.
Until
we die.
Yeah, I don't know. I've got a lot of theories about just understanding the fabric of the universe and how everything like that works in multiple dimensions and reincarnation and all of these different things go hand in hand. And just there's so many different ways you can really perceive existence.
Like in things compound too. Like you start talking about the fabric of the universe and then you start talking about multiverse and like multiple dimensions and how aliens are just multidimensional creatures and like there's so many theories that could go into life.
Also another thing, I mean, it's definitely incredibly possible for there to be aliens from other dimensions, but it's just as possible for there to be aliens from this dimension.
Yeah, for sure.
As well.
But that's like,
and it's just as possible for them to not understand that there are other dimensions with other aliens, or you know what I'm saying.
It really is.
There's so many different ways.
Well, and it's
of thinking.
Like Rick and Morty is probably the best example of how to put that thought into practice.
Yeah, I think that's
because you have planets like the Purge planet that is like a weird like mix of sci-fi and rural America.
Thought.
Go ahead.
Aliens created Rick and Morty to get us used to the idea of alien life.
That's the cosmic theory that like they can't tell us what's out there.
So they're just trying to mentally get us prepared with all sorts of entertainment.
They can't keep the truth from us, so they guise the truth as jokes.
Yeah, and then eventually jokes become normality.
Yeah. That's why.
I mean, Bush did 9/11.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. Like, memeing is why the stimulus did not pass.
Basically.
Right?
Partially.
I'd like to think that my memes did something to impact Trump's decision to veto the bill from going through.
Your meme specifically.
My meme specifically, because I've been shit posting lately.
Yeah.
And it feels good. It feels good to get back to just shit posting for the hell of shit posting.
You gotta get on my level, bud.
Well, I know. You and Napoleon Bonaparte are just killing it. And I to be fair, I share a lot of the things that you shit post. So
I'll just get on there every once in a while and share the randomest shit.
Yeah, Ben is kind of like he'll come on like a day, share something completely absurd, then disappear for like a week, and then pop back up and share something.
I'm not consistent at all on my Facebook.
I'm so consistent.
I'm trying to get more consistent on Instagram.
I'm trying to too. It's just hard to have content to post.
See,
because you got to make it yourself.
Yeah.
I've just started spouting out bullshit.
Well, like,
did you see the last thing I did with the fucking cocoa butter in my eyes?
no.
I'm gonna lube up my eyelids.
No,
it's
I
actually
did not.
on TikTok.
Is it? Is it on Instagram yet?
It's got 1,000 views.
Oh.
I don't know why. It's so stupid.
I'm going, for those at home that can't see it.
Real quick, let me just lube up my eyelids. Oh, yeah.
That's it.
And for those at home that can't see, Ben put cocoa butter on his eyelids.
But it was like gobs. Like I couldn't
like
open my
a
eyelids.
massive amount of Moment Makers Comedy on TikTok. Find us. Go find the page. Go like the video. Go watch the video. It's a good time.
It is. It's a bunch of stupid, funny shit. Really stupid.
Like, so stupid that it's funny.
Yeah. I don't do any of that, like, lip syncing, TikTok dancing, all that. I'd rather just have, a Vine account. I'd rather have a Vine account, but you can't. You can't.
TikTok is the new Vine.
Yeah.
But TikTok will be probably going away here soon, and the next
I
big
thought it was
thing
supposed to be
will come.
banned.
That's what everybody keeps saying. It's
I don't
not
even
Well,
going
the next
anywhere.
thing's
I don't
going to
keep up
pop
to date.
up before long because you have all the censoring shit that's going on with Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. The next big social media is going to come along and just knock all of them out, and it's going to be the circle of life.
I don't know. Zuck's going to keep us in check, man. Zuck, with everything. I mean, he's got Instagram and Facebook. He created Instagram so he would have the next outlet.
He did not create
He did not create Instagram.
He bought Instagram.
They bought Instagram.
I mean, same thing.
That is far from the same thing.
I mean, he
And
got
I'm
it because it
pretty
was
sure
the up-and-coming thing.
I'm pretty sure through the censoring stuff that they were told that they had to sell Instagram because they have a monopoly on, like, information and shit. Which, like,
Who owns Google?
Google,
But, like,
ABC.
the dude.
the CEO
What's
guy.
the dude?
Oh, I don't know.
I can't remember his name.
But they're Alphabet Corp or something, aren't they? Like Google's parent company.
Because that's honestly, it's kind of sad to say, but that's where I get a lot of my news now is just the fucking Google
Alphabet
feed.
Inc.
Alphabet Inc. And they own YouTube, Google.
Waymo X. Really?
Google.com.
Wait, no.
Ooh, scary.
Ooh. I love how your news feed, though, on Google is really tailored to your own interests.
See, I don't even use the news feed.
I don't
Just
either.
go to Google.com. Go to Google.com and see what pops up, man. You get all this interesting stuff. The unique West Virginia train depot is located along one of the most scenic Amtrak routes in America. That's one story.
See, all of this is just about Google. Search engine startups try to take on Google. Inside Google and Uber's war to own self-driving cars, this is the best Google Cloud print alternative.
How do you get to that?
I think
And I think that's because I don't use Google
probably.
News. So it's all just Google News.
I use Apple News.
I use
Facebook
News.
Facebook. I just don't really look at any of it though.
I was watching a John Mulaney or not a segment with Seth Meyers, and he was like, he was talking about Google News, and he's like, does not everybody get the same news that's on here?
Damn,
He's just like, so not everybody knows about like Prince Harry and all this stuff. Oh, it's just tailored to me and my interests.
This is tailored. It's talking about Marty Friedman and Mini Coopers and
But that's part of
Karens.
Specifically tailored.
Something about Skyrim.
But that's part of the issue, though.
Magic
right?
mushrooms
Like,
might rebalance the brain.
Yeah, because the algorithm becomes your life.
Well,
with
the
today's
algorithm becomes an
technology.
echo chamber.
Yeah,
right? 'Cause
And you just
the news that I
reasserts
look
your own
at-
beliefs.
Because you have two sides to the story,
Mm-hmm.
and your side is going to be whichever side the algorithm says that you want to see, so
Yeah.
that they know that you click on it, so that they get the money from the revenue, whatever that stuff, big words.
Mm-hmm.
And you never truly get like a full fleshed out idea of what the story actually is.
Mm-hmm.
With everything that's gone on this year, from the pandemic to BLM to, I mean, there was a
Well, that's why, like, when I see one story, I end up going to like 3 different news sources to see all the different variations of the same story.
But how many people do you know that do that?
Like, I don't ask anybody if they do that.
How many news sources do you use?
Mine are, I've got
Do you
5.
cross-reference your references?
do you check the show notes? Do you read the credits at the end of the movies?
But for real, like, it becomes an echo chamber, and then you have a bunch of people who are on this side that believe this way, that get the news from this side, and then the opposite side get the exact same thing but the opposing view.
Yeah.
And then you have division.
It's like when CNN and NBC cover the same story, and you get to see the different biases from each one just by how they word everything.
And it's ridiculous.
A lot of a lot of the time I use Google News and I use BBC News a lot.
Okay.
So I like to have like a European look at things.
Well, I mean,
it's very.
I think it's safe to say that like Australia or New Zealand.
Yeah, I get a lot from Sky News Australia too. Actually,
they're gonna have a less biased view of things that are happening.
It's very, very interesting to see Australian news. If anybody actually looks into it, Sky News Australia, they have like. It's amazing to see because they've got like half their staff Trump supporters, the other half hate Trump, but they all really work together really well and give opposing points of view, but they do it in a very sort of calm fashion. So it's very interesting to see that contrast.
I think no matter what, the way that our American news has turned it into a politics thing is the worst possible thing that we could have done with the system that we have.
Yeah.
Whether you like Trump or not, he's not a king. He's not a ruler of our lives. He's a figurehead.
Yeah.
Who happens to have done some things that are decent, like this stimulus bill. He stopped.
That's like the one thing I'm like, I hope he gets this one.
Well,
I want $2,000.
Well, I mean, I saw a bunch of things where like they said, so what can we do about these veto the Dominion voting machines? A bunch of people that
I think there's been a miscount here.
Yeah. But he did the stuff with the Middle East. He helped bring peace there, which has never been done, which is a big deal.
I mean, how did he bring peace? Like what?
There's a peace treaty that surrounding areas from Israel have signed.
Does that include Yemen? Because there's a terrible civil war going on there that we've been fueling for like the past 16 years.
Well,
that's a whole different subject, though. Yasser is king, if anybody knows.
But he's done some things well. And the way the media twists and turns everything, and anything that he does that's decent makes me see how biased a lot of the news outlets are. I'm not a fan of Trump. I think that there are countless people that are better suited for the position. Yeah. Tulsi Gabbard is one. I will say it until I'm blue in the face. She is who we deserved. Andrew Yang, we deserved. Yeah. I'm totally cool with a UBI. Not a UTI, a UBI.
What's a UBI?
Universal Basic Income.
I thought you were going to say Universal Baking Industry.
Andrew Yang is a huge pastry fan. But Trump has done some things well.
I mean, that's just like any president ever has done shitty things and something. Like, okay, here's some things that don't help me. Here's some things that do help me. Oh, but at the end of the day, we're all still fucked.
Well, and that's the overwhelming thing is that the president is not the one who has power.
Yeah.
Technically, we're supposed to be the ones that have the power. We the people. But it's been convoluted in such a way that the government, Congress, Senate, House, they all have the power, and they blame the figurehead for what happens or doesn't happen. Right? Like Nancy Pelosi screamed until she was blue in the face that Trump's the reason we didn't get stimulus the last 6 months, when it's the House and Senate. Can't agree to just pass a bill that gives people unemployment and gives us a stimulus check.
We're getting into political things here.
I know, but I'm at that point now where I'm just done with it.
Yeah.
The money that's going to Pakistan for gender studies.
$72 million going to Pakistan for gender studies.
Why?
And over $120 million going to, I believe, Congress for raises within the stimulus bill, and
they
tens
got
of
paid
millions for
$130 grand for whether or not we deserve $600 one time.
I mean, what can you do?
Taxes.
Yeah, taxes.
But yeah, how long have we been going for?
An hour.
Okay, probably getting close to wrapping it up.
Yeah.
Here. Anything else you want to add before we close out the? Sorry, we got on a political tangent there.
It was kind of. It wasn't too
political or biased. It was more about the news and the way that they're biased.
We're all fucked. But you know what? I do have something to say.
Go ahead.
You know what? 2021, guys.
For those that couldn't see, Ben hit his chair with the pick holder.
2021, guys.
For those at home,
let's try. That's it. Let's try. Let's just try. I don't know. Well, I think it's going to be very interesting going into this new decade. And I am excited and at the same time terrified. But it's going to be very interesting. And that's for sure.
I think through 2020, we've had a lot of systems that have been checked. Healthcare is one that needs revision. News is one that needs revision.
Well, it's very interesting to see the sort of public outcry for just we don't want things to stay like this. We don't like this. We don't want this.
So I'm very eager to see what happens in the next 2-3 years.
Yeah.
It's not even waiting 10 years to see what happens, because if change is going to happen, it's going to happen quickly.
It depends on your definition of quickly.
Within the next 2-3 years. Because if it doesn't, then I
feel like that's going to, right now, it's the spark has lit a small fire, and it's starting to get a little bit warmer in the room. It's not, the house isn't on fire yet.
Yeah. Well, they've been calling for it, so we'll see.
I don't know. It's going to be very interesting regardless of what happens, I think.
Yeah.
Because things are either going to get better or they're going to get worse. Obviously, there's the two options that we have.
Seldomly does it ever stay the same.
Exactly. Things traditionally things always keep moving. Things always move forward. Something happens. Nothing stays the same. Change is inevitable.
But even, not talking about the systems and practices that we have in government, but just, the business practices that we have. A lot of people have been working from home for the entire year.
Yeah.
It's going to be weird if we ever go back to whatever normal is, which I think will happen sooner than later.
One thing I think might happen, I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think after, the pandemic is in a controlled fashion, we might see a big resurgence of live music, I think.
Yeah.
Almost kind of a little bit of a rebirth.
Like a renaissance.
Yeah.
Kind of
or you could have the opposite. I'm not entirely sure. I think it's going to be very, something's going to happen.
I think you're right.
Music is going to change.
People are going to be fiending for some, social...
Yeah, that was one of the... that's kind of what happened in the 1920s, where everyone, the Spanish flu happened, and Prohibition happened, and nobody could do anything. Everything was... just everyone was super confined and wasn't able to release, and then everyone started having that's when speakeasies were made.
Yep.
And so they went to all these private parties, and they you could find 10 parties on the same block, that
That's
was the
wild.
1920s. That was why it was the roaring 20s.
Roaring 20s.
Roaring 20s, boys.
We're kind of going into that.
Possibly, but
It's wild.
it's going to be interesting to see our version of that, if that is the case. But also every 100 years, 1920, 2020, 1820, 1720, 1620, I think all the way back until 1520, there has been some type of pandemic. Yeah.
That's wild.
Every 100 years in the 20s. And you can look that up because, I forget all of them. But, this year,
is no
Spanish
exception.
flu, I forget,
Yeah.
1820, and then bubonic plague, and another plague was before then. I don't know.
Well,
You
something
can
that's
look into it.
weird, swine flu, back, what was it, 8 years ago?
I
10?
think,
Something around there. I didn't realize how big of a deal that was.
supposedly, yeah.
Because we've been watching Supernatural, and there was an episode that came on. We've been rewatching it so that we can watch the finale.
Right.
We're
And be caught up.
far away from that.
Yeah.
But there was an episode about swine flu and how everyone was walking around wearing masks, and it was like a big deal, but not as big of a deal as coronavirus. And I don't remember it being that way.
Yeah, well, also, think about this. We lived in West Virginia at the time,
Sure.
right?
Sure.
And we're very... the mountains have us secluded from a lot of things.
It does. I mean, we
I doubt
have
that-
felt very little impact from...
And we've been getting more and more here from corona and
We're-
things for sure. But swine flu, I don't think
Well,
ever really affected
yeah.
us in a way that mattered.
But even with corona, we haven't been affected like New York or California.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it
Just
is
because
getting
of
to
where
a
we are.
point where our percentages of...
Cases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But our deaths have been pretty
Low.
fucking low.
Yeah. Which is good.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
It's a great thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Cases does not equate to death.
Yeah. I mean, I know a lot of people who have had it, and
Mhm.
they have been essentially fine. No one has had it too bad, thankfully.
Yep. But yeah, looking forward to 2021 and kind of just pushing through.
I can't wait to play live music.
I
Brennan.
know.
I
At GBC
can't
Jam,
wait.
we'll hopefully be able to start planning for that here in the next couple months.
We need
and
something. We need to get that venue.
I know. We need to find if you're listening to this and you live in the Lewisburg
Or just the general
surrounding areas, let us know. We have
want a
some
big
stuff.
field or a
We want a
barn.
big field or a barn. Hit us up if you've got property.
Yeah.
We'll
pay
chat,
you.
We'll figure something out.
We'll do something.
Ben's really fond of glizzies, whatever that means. So
Glizzies?
glizzies,
What's that?
something you've been talking about.
Glizzies? Have I?
Yeah, you will not shut the fuck up about it.
About glizzies?
Yeah,
What's it?
I don't know. You tell me.
You're
I'm
the one that's been talking
genuinely
about
in
it.
a very confused state right now. Glizzy?
Right before we started recording, he brought that up.
he did.
What? When?
Right before we started recording.
Glizzies.
Glizzies.
Are y'all fucking with me?
I'm not fucking with you, but it's
What
fucking
it?
funny.
Glizzies?
Glizzy.
What?
I don't know what it means.
I don't think I've ever said the word glizzy in my life.
You've just said it about 16 times.
I mean, just now talking about it. Because y'all
Before,
talked about
though.
Before you were talking about, I love glizzies. Glizzies are my favorite thing.
it. Y'all are just fucking with me.
No.
I did not do these things.
Well, what is it?
He walked outside to take a cigarette break.
Yeah.
You were talking about glizzies in your mouth.
No, I was talking about issues and Tyler Carter,
In glizzies.
and I didn't realize that Tyler Carter was gay.
Yes.
Then you said that thing about him and the glizzy.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
Y'all are fucking with me.
No, we're not.
Yes, you are.
No.
I forget things, but I don't forget this much. Anyway,
I'm surprised you forgot what a glizzy was.
Do y'all want me to tell you what a glizzy is?
Yeah.
I'll have to give you one first.
And that's the podcast.